Hey, what's up everyone? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review we're looking at the Play Arts Kai variant Batman figure. This is the design that the Play Arts artist came up with. It's completely original, so I can imagine there are going to be quite a few people who are just 100% against this design for Batman. I, for one, am not one of those people. I think it's really cool, and I don't mind that it is not classic Batman. I think it's pretty awesome. It's actually one of the best Play Arts figures I've gotten in a while. It's a really cool figure. Let's go ahead and look at the packaging real quick. I don't normally do that, but I think I will for this one. The outside of the packaging is really cool. It has some nice artwork on it, and then on the back it has the figure with the other three from this batch of the Play Arts. We have Green Lantern and Wonder Woman. It says Green Lantern number 3, Batman number 1, Wonder Woman number 2. Then we have the window on the inside, of course, Velcro with some cool artwork there, and you can see inside there's the stand, which I don't usually take out, but it is in there, so if you want to use it, that's cool. It's clear plastic, it's kind of frosted. And then we have some character info right there, and some new artwork, again right there. So pretty nice packaging, I have to say. Pretty happy with that. The blister Batman comes on is black, so you can take out that back piece if you want to for the base. That's up to you. As far as accessories go, he comes with a big grappling gun, really well sculpted, well painted, really nicely put together. It is kind of big though. Let me get the ruler out and show you. This gun, from stem to stern, or whatever you want to say, is just shy of 4 inches. It's about 3 3/4 inches long, so that's a pretty big gun. Even though this is a bigger scale figure, it's a pretty big gun. And then we also have the Batarang, which I'm not going to measure because it's standard size, but it's nicely detailed. It doesn't actually fold, but it looks like it's meant to. I'm not really sure why they have that in there. I mean, it's the kind of thing that I would rather not be there at all, but whatever. It's nice gold, so that's cool. He has total of 5 hands. We have an open hand for each side, and each hand comes with this little piece of armor on it that's soft, so it doesn't impede the articulation. But you can see the paint has different levels of gloss. Nice paintwork, nice texturing. So we have one of those open hands for either side. And then we have the hand for holding his sword, which is another accessory, a katana, which is pretty cool. There's shading on it, so that's cool. And then he holds it, it fits in his hand really well. And that is the same hand that you'll use for the grappling gun, which you can see pretty long compared to Batman. It's a lot bigger than the standard grappling gun. And then we have 2 fist hands. So pretty cool overall. Nice batch of accessories. Nothing out of the ordinary other than the katana really, but still decent spread. I'm okay with it. Let's take the katana out just so that it's not in the way for the rest of the review. Come on. And I'll measure that for you too, just in case you were wondering. It is just over 7 inches long, so pretty good sized katana. Alright, so let's look at Batman himself, who has grappling hooks on his cape, which as you can see is a problem. Not the best design, I think, for a cape, just because it would be pretty counterproductive. But it still looks cool, so that's okay. I'm not going to harp on that. Anyway, he stands almost 11 inches tall to the top of his ears, so he's definitely out of scale with the other Batman figures. He is quite a lot taller. It's not meant to be the same scale, so I'm okay with it. It's common for Play Arts to have different scales. As far as the detailing goes, he's got blue shading, blue and gray shading throughout, all kinds of different tones, lots of silver pinstriping type details. All of the armor pieces have little, not all of them, but a lot of them have the little detailing of silver around there. We have some gold pieces throughout, lots of the blue shading. Lots of silver, lots of black. The cape is really nicely shaded. It looks kind of spotty right now, but in person it's not too bad. Sure, there are some spots that probably don't belong, but by and large it looks really, really well done. And the cape is textured also, so that's pretty cool. The entire body's textured. Lots of rivets, tiny, tiny details all around the figure. Very well done. The sculpt is good. And a lot of people were worried about the proportions. I don't think his legs look too long at all. I think he's really well proportioned, so I'm okay with it. Really nice forearm blades, whatever you call those. I don't know what Batman calls those. I don't know if he has a name for them, but those are sculpted well. They're nice and sturdy too. They're not going to break. As far as the head goes, I really like the design. At first I was a little skeptical, but it's grown on me. I like it a lot. I think it looks really good. Articulation wise, it's on a double ball peg, so pretty good range of motion throughout. Can't look too far up due to this back part of his cowl, but it makes for pretty good posing, and you don't see the joint too much. As far as the neck being articulated, I don't believe it is. I just opened these guys, so I'm going to be exploring it as we look at it. But the neck is not articulated as far as I can see. We have the standard ball hinge shoulder on top of the butterfly joint that we're used to from Play Arts, so you can bring the arm forward a little bit. Then you have the ball hinge with a bicep swivel, ball hinge elbow, so it ratchets and then it swivels at the top and the bottom. Same thing for the wrist. Double ball peg in the torso, so pretty good range of motion there. Rock every which way, swivel. Ball peg for the lower abdomen, so that can lean all over the place. The only thing that limits it really is the hips, so it depends where you put the hips, but that's pretty well articulated. You can really get them to pose however you want to. You won't have any trouble with that. This is a soft piece and it's floating, so it won't get in the way too much. The hips are ratcheted from side to side and front to back, and they swivel around the ball peg as well, so that's pretty cool. He has the double jointed knees. It's a pretty good rendition for that for Play Arts. It's not nearly as ugly as I've seen. The only problem I have is this top part where if you go too far you can actually see the guts, which isn't too bad because you can just avoid it. Use that knee pad and it's really not too bad. Pretty good batch of articulation for the knee. The ankle is the same as the wrist and the elbows. You can see the ball hinge in there, but even though this part's really soft, it doesn't get in the way. These side parts are a lot firmer and the boots go up pretty high, so that's a little limited, not as good as I would have preferred. And then there is the foot swivel there. So the articulation is pretty much standard for Play Arts. Definitely nothing to complain about. Then we do also have the articulated cape. So that's nice. This is a soft piece that's a separate piece. Then each side of the cape is articulated on a ball hinge, just like the shoulders or the elbows. So that can swivel out either side, and it's ratcheted. It's a little stiff, but you can do it. And you have to be careful, not be careful, but be aware that there's a lot of material on the top part above the hinge, so it will limit the cape a little bit, but it is able to be pulled out a little bit more. You can separate it from the hinge just a little bit, and it gives you some better articulation. And that's, you can do that on both sides, obviously, so it looks good, but that's alright. If you don't like the grappling hooks, you can pull them off. I did that to one of them just to show you. I wouldn't recommend it because they are glued on. I can't do this on camera. So I would probably just leave them if I was you. Unless you really hate them, you can pull them off and then just cut this little tip thing off and it won't look too bad, but I can't say I recommend that. And then you can see there's really nice detailing throughout the rest of the suit. That little spine piece is pretty cool, and just, it's really well detailed and well put together, and it's a really nice Batman figure. It might be one of my favorites. I think it's definitely up there. I don't mind the anime styling at all. I think it's really cool. I think the sword suits Batman. It just looks really nice. Definitely a good figure. There's not too much more I can say. Personally, I recommend it. There are a few issues with quality control, as always. Some people don't have them. I happen to. You can see on his right bicep there's like the blue shading that's missing. I don't know what's up with that. But otherwise, my Batman hasn't had any quality control issues other than that. I think I said other than that twice, but whatever. Looks really good. I definitely recommend it. Show you what it looks like up against Green Lantern real quick. So there's Batman and Green Lantern. Green Lantern's just a little bit taller to the top of the head, but that's okay. I don't mind that. We'll review him in a bit. And then we also have Wonder Woman, who is pretty cool. And she's not quite as tall as Batman, and she's in really high heels. So they're all pretty well scaled with each other. We'll review her later also. But there is the Batman review. Like I said, I do recommend it. Of course, it's up to you if you like this style or not. Me, personally, I think it's really cool. So there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more figure reviews, custom figures, and other good stuff. And in the meantime, keep collecting.